Hello there, everyone. My name is CM Freeze, and this is a video that I've wanted to make and not wanted to make at the same time. As you can see by the title of the video, what if Michael Penix Jr. is not good? And I know immediately what everyone is going to go say in the comments down below. You are such a Debbie Downer. Why can't you just think he's going to be good? Why are you preying on this kid's downfall? I'm not. As a Falcons fan, why would I want Michael Penix Jr. to be bad? I don't. I hope he's the next face of the franchise. I hope he's the next Michael Vick, but he actually can get us to Super Bowls. And minus the other stuff, the off-the-field issues of Michael Vick's career. I hope he's on the field Michael Vick. I hope that this kid absolutely balls out and is phenomenal. I really have high hopes. Let me rephrase that. I want nothing but the best from Michael Penix Jr. However, every single piece of media I see is, I can't wait for Michael Penix Jr. He's absolutely going to tear up this league. He has such a big arm. He's going to make some incredible throws. He's going to really unlock this Atlanta Falcons offense. They're going to be so much better with Michael Penix Jr. I have not seen anyone talk about the opposite of that. What if he isn't good? Every single thing I've seen has been basically Michael Penix Jr. is a surefire thing, or at least he'll make the Falcons offense better. I'd like to address a couple of things before I go further onto this. One, he needed to start. Kirk Cousins was playing like garbage. I completely agree with that. Kirk Cousins was playing horrendously, and I think in order to salvage the season, he needed to be benched. Now, I think he needed to be benched a couple of games ago because the Atlanta Falcons could win out, go 10-7, and still miss the playoffs. If the Bucs win out, they win the division. The Seattle Seahawks also have the tiebreaker on the Atlanta Falcons. So if the Seattle Seahawks were to win a couple of games, they get that playoff spot. The Washington Commanders also have a 2-game lead on the Atlanta Falcons. So even if we beat them, we need the Commanders to lose one of their other 2 remaining games. We could win out and still make the playoffs. So when I say salvage the season, there's a chance that it's already too little too late. Michael Penix Jr. could be great, and we still miss the playoffs. The Atlanta Falcons never wanted Michael Penix Jr. to start this year. Kirk Cousins was supposed to be the starter for at least a year and a half. He was at least supposed to start all of this year, start next year, and then either bring in Michael Penix Jr. in the middle of next year, or Kirk Cousins starts 2 years and Michael Penix Jr. starts in that year 3. This was never in the Atlanta Falcons game plan, but Kirk Cousins has been playing that bad the last 5 games that now you have to start saving jobs. Raheem Morris, and especially our GM, Terry, they're right now in job saving mode. It's only year 1 for Raheem Morris, but if he botches this quarterback situation, he's going to be on really thin ice. I don't think he was ever going to be fired in year 1, but he's going to be on real thin ice if he botches this quarterback situation. Because the reason that Arthur Smith got fired after 3 years is because of how poorly he handled the quarterback situation. And how after Matt Ryan, he just couldn't do anything with Marcus Mariota, and he couldn't do anything with Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder was the quarterback he drafted. He's the guy that he wanted, and he sucked. And his Marcus Mariota plan also sucked. He was fired because of terrible quarterback play. We said, you know what, we're a quarterback away. So what does Atlanta do in the offseason? They go and sign Kirk Cousins, a veteran, to a $100 million guaranteed deal, and they draft Michael Penix Jr. 8th overall. Kirk Cousins is already not panning out. He was supposed to start, and Michael Penix Jr. is supposed to be the backup. Michael Penix Jr. is starting, arguably probably a year too early, at least in the Atlanta Falcons' minds. They wanted him to come in a year later than this. He is being rushed too early. But now all I'm seeing is fans saying, oh my gosh, the Falcons actually did great with drafting Michael Penix Jr. It was just the Kirk Cousins contract that they shouldn't have done. And obviously, that's hindsight. That's everyone saying hindsight. Let me tell you something. The Atlanta Falcons were idiots from the start. Complete idiots from the start. You either do one of 2 things. You either sign Kirk Cousins to that contract, and then with the 8th overall pick, draft a player that can help him, either Rome Odunze on offense or a star defensive player, maybe Jared Verse or Leatu Latu to help out on the defense, or you draft Michael Penix Jr., and then with the $100 million guaranteed you give Kirk Cousins, you go out and sign free agents. Danielle Hunter was a big free agent that we lost to a bidding war with the Houston Texans. Yeah, we brought in Darnell Mooney, and yeah, he's been good for us. That's the only real free agent. We got Justin Simmons and Matthew Judon later on, but both of them haven't really made that much of a difference. Nothing like what Danielle Hunter would have done. Danielle Hunter would have been much better than Matthew Judon because Matthew Judon also cost us a third-round draft pick. And plus, then we would have more money for this offseason. Say we got Danielle Hunter, we would still have a lot of extra money left over, whereas I would see it is this would be we're a year away. Let's say a hypothetical world, we draft Michael Penix Jr., we sign Danielle Hunter to a big contract, we still have an extra $10 million or so that we get from not signing Kirk Cousins, but we do sign Danielle Hunter. Say Kirk Cousins makes $40 million, we sign Danielle Hunter for $30. That's my math there, right? In this offseason, we would have $10 million plus some extra change with the cap space that we have now to go out and sign another guy. We could look at this team and be like, all right, what are we missing? Offensively, we're pretty set. We got weapons, we got a good offensive line, we got a rookie quarterback who's got 1 year of experience under our belt. Let's go sign another big-time defender. So we'd have Danielle Hunter, we would have AJ Terrell, we would have Jesse Bates, and then whoever that fourth defender that we signed in this offseason was. Who knows, right? That would be the option if we just drafted Michael Penix Jr., who a lot of people also, by the way, said was the most pro-ready quarterback in this draft class, who had 6 years of college football already under his experience, and who has already played in an NFL-style offense at Washington. We had him our plan was to have him sit for 2 years, the most pro-ready quarterback. So that right there already was really stupid. But I understand what the plan was. They just wanted him to sit. They didn't want to rush anything. I kind of get what they were thinking. I understand what the Falcons were thinking. Stupid mindset, though. I understand what they were thinking. Stupid mindset. So you do one of the two things. But by doing both things, you've now screwed over both quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins now doesn't have extra help on defense or another weapon with that 8th overall pick. And Michael Penix Jr., now he won't have Danielle Hunter, and he won't have cap space next year too, because Kirk Cousins is going to eat up a lot of the Atlanta Falcons cap in the 2025 season as well. Depending on if we cut him or trade him, we're taking on a big part of his salary. That's going to go towards our 2025 season. So now Michael Penix Jr. is getting screwed next year. I understand that we already have a lot of weapons on offense, but let's be real here. If you've watched Falcons games, you understand our defense hasn't played good either. Our defense allowed 42 points against the Minnesota Vikings. Our defense got boat raced by the Broncos and Bo Nix. You want to know what the sad part about that is too? That's some of the best defenses we faced. Yes, we played good against the Eagles in week 2. Yeah, we almost beat the Chiefs. A ton of teams have almost beat the Chiefs. The Buccaneers also have put up a lot of points on us in both games we've played, just Kirk Cousins seems to only play good against divisional opponents. You see the issue here? We've played a lot of bad teams, and when we do play good teams, our defense gets boat raced. Our defense is not that good. And guess what? We aren't going to have money next year to sign defenders. Basically, next year, our team is going to look pretty damn similar to our team this year, except with Michael Penix Jr. at the helm, and then we'll have our first and our second round pick. Our first round pick's probably going to be in the mid-teens, so we'll probably have like pick 16 and then pick 45 or something. So that's what our team's going to be next year, is the same exact team we have now, except with Michael Penix Jr. and a first and second round rookie. And if you think that team is good enough to win the Super Bowl, I think you're on crack. Now, like I said, we could have been a year away if we just never signed Kirk Cousins. You know, hindsight's 2020. I understand what the Falcons' plan were. They doubled down on quarterback. Terrible decision. They should have done one or the other. Unfortunately, they do both, which screws over both quarterbacks in the process because they say, hey, let's look at our team here. I believe this team's good enough to win. We were just a quarterback away. We're not just a quarterback away. Our defense isn't where it needs to be. And obviously the quarterback play is bad because you say you're a quarterback away, you get 2 quarterbacks, and one of them are really bad. Kirk Cousins is playing like trash. And now this brings me to the question at hand. What if Michael Penix Jr. is bad? There's no guarantee that Michael Penix Jr. is good. Like I said, I see a lot of people saying that Michael Penix Jr. is going to come in and instantly make this offense better. Now, let's say what we can guarantee. Guarantee Michael Penix Jr. will be better at navigating the pocket. He's not really known for his legs. He's not a scrambler. but he's not scared for his life like Kirk Cousins is in the pocket. Kirk Cousins is a brick wall. Michael Penix Jr. will at least be able to move around in the pocket. His pocket presence will be better. Play action will be better. So there are definitely some things we can do with Michael Penix Jr. that I can 100% say with confidence. Now, there are some things that you just can't say with confidence. Michael Penix Jr., if you watched him in Washington, looked really good at a lot of times. But let's look at the facts here. Washington had one of the best offensive lines in the league. He had a ton of weapons. He was going up against subpar Pac-12 defenses. Pac-12 is an offense-heavy team. Every single score was 40-40 basically in the Pac-12. Very offensive style schemes with not that good defenses there in the Pac-12. So Michael Penix Jr. had great weapons and was going up against subpar defenses. If you watch that Michigan game, he played like shit because it's one of the only games where he actually was getting pressure in his face consistently and he looked very inaccurate. He played bad against Michigan. Now it's just one game, right? It is just one game, but he's going to go up against much better teams than Michigan in the NFL. We don't know how good he's going to be. With Desmond Ridder, all I saw was that Desmond Ridder looked good in practice. Desmond Ridder is going up against the Atlanta Falcons defense. Everyone's saying, oh my gosh, Michael Penix Jr. looks super good in practice. Michael Penix Jr. is going up against our second string defense. In preseason, he went up against second stringers. We've not seen Michael Penix Jr. against defenses. Now, the week that they're bringing him in is a great week. They're bringing him in against the New York Giants. We also played the Commanders and the Panthers. So Penix actually could look pretty damn good in the first 3 weeks because he's going up against two of the worst teams in football who both have bad defenses, and the Commanders, who do have a good offense, but their defense definitely is not that good as their offense. So Michael Penix Jr. actually has potential to look good in these 3 games, and obviously that's what you want. You want him to look good. But it's not like it's really a challenge. He's supposed to look good. If he looks bad, we're going to have an issue on our hands. If Michael Penix Jr. doesn't look good in these 3 games, we are going to have an issue on our hands. We are. And that's the question at hand. What if he's not good? What if Michael Penix Jr. is not good? I even remember last year where Desmond Ridder won his last 2 years ago with the Falcons. Desmond Ridder won his last 2 games and he played 2 bad defenses. Remember the last game of the year, I believe we played the Panthers? I think the Panthers is the team that we played, and Desmond Ridder looked really damn good. Or maybe it was the Raiders. I forget exactly what game he played in, but he looked really good, and it was against a bad team with a bad defense. Then the next year starts, you're like, okay, Desmond Ridder, he got better each game he played. Desmond Ridder looked good last year, and then he sucked. He absolutely sucked in year 2. Again, I'm not saying that this is going to be Michael Penix Jr. You know, he's obviously not Desmond Ridder. He has much more potential than Desmond Ridder. He has a much bigger arm than Desmond Ridder. I'm just saying these are things that can happen. Believe me, I want Michael Penix Jr. to be good. I think best case scenario, Michael Penix Jr. looks better than he did in Washington, obviously, right? He has a big arm, and he has at times looked very accurate. I think if we get that version of Michael Penix Jr., big arm, accurate, he's not the most mobile quarterback in the world, but he's young, and he can still create plays with play action. He can at least scramble. Like I said, he's not the fastest, he's not the most elusive, but he's young. And he's not an absolute stone wall. He is more of a pocket passer, but he still can move. My biggest issue with Michael Penix Jr. before we even drafted him is his ceiling. Because like I said, everyone said he's the most pro-ready quarterback. How much better can Michael Penix Jr. get? He's not a project, but can he reach that upper tier? Can he become a Joe Burrow? You know, I don't think he has the legs to become Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, or even Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't have the potential to get there. Joe Burrow is not the most athletic quarterback, but what makes him so good is how good he is at navigating the pocket. Phenomenal at pocket navigation. That's where I would say you would want to be, but I don't think he can reach Joe Burrow. I don't think he can. So what's his ceiling? What quarterback is Michael Penix Jr.'s ceiling? And when I think of all the quarterbacks, I honestly don't know who his ceiling is. I really don't. Just, I don't think he has the potential to be a top 5 quarterback. And that doesn't mean that you can't win with a top 5 quarterback. But it's really hard not to. You look at all the teams that have won Super Bowls. The only team that comes to mind, obviously, is the Eagles with Nick Foles that won without a top 5 quarterback. But Mahomes has won it. I guess the Rams with Matthew Stafford is also another issue. Stafford isn't a top 5 quarterback, but he's good. So I guess that's our best case scenario, right? Try to become the LA Rams. The only difference is the LA Rams had a really good defense. We don't. And we won't have money for a good defense, at least in 2025. So we need Michael Penix Jr. to play better than the Rams and Matthew Stafford, which again, I don't know if he can do. I just fear for the future. I really do. Like I said, my biggest issue with Michael Penix Jr. was his ceiling. I just don't, he's definitely good now. Or at least in college, he was good. And he showed potential. But how much better can he get? Can he get to that top 5 level? I don't think he can. I really don't. Let's say he even does get to top 10, top 15 quarterback. Like I said, he doesn't have the defense to help him out. If he goes and plays Josh Allen in the Bills, if he goes and plays Joe Burrow in the Bengals, is he going to be able to keep up with their offenses? It's tough, man. It's really tough. And that's just assuming Michael Penix Jr. does get to top 10 quarterback level. Like I said, that's the whole point of this video. What if he's bad? Say Michael Penix Jr. looks average in these 3 games. Say he even looks above average in this 3 games, like I said, against 3 bad defenses. What happens next year, year 2, when we play good teams? Let's say we finish the division second. I know we have to play the Arizona Cardinals division next year, so we'd have to play the Rams, who are known for having a good defense. If the 49ers are healthy, we have to play the 49ers, who are known for having a good defense. We would also probably have to play the Commanders again. I'm trying to think, and then we'd have to play the Vikings, who have a good defense. You know, there are levels to this, right? It's like, what if he's bad? That's the question. Nothing's guaranteed. You look at first-round quarterbacks. Statistically, over 50% of first-round quarterbacks are busts. You look at the year before this year, 2022. There was 4 quarterbacks taken in the first 35 picks. Bryce Young at 1, CJ Stroud at 2, Anthony Richardson at 3, or at 4, and Will Levis at 33, 34. Bryce Young, it's only been less than 2 years. It's only been less than 2 years. So it's impossible to label a quarterback a bust in 2 years, right? They still have more time. But Bryce Young has already been benched for Andy Dalton. Anthony Richardson, benched for Joe Flacco. Will Levis, benched for Mason Rudolph. That's how bad these guys are playing. CJ Stroud is the only quarterback that so far has panned out and gone the way that teams expected him to go. That's 1-4. And again, different years, different quarterback classes. Just because in previous years it was only 25% doesn't mean that it isn't going to happen this year. This year could be a great quarterback class where all 6 first-round quarterbacks work out. Just because statistically it's happened with previous quarterbacks doesn't mean that it's going to happen with Michael Penix Jr. But it is something to note. How many times does a team draft a quarterback, think they're going to be the face of the future, and then it doesn't work out? It's happened with the Jets and the Browns about 1 billion times now. You know? So it's just, Michael Penix Jr. could be bad. And I think that's something that Falcons fans need to brace themselves for. I want him to be good, I do. Why would I want him to be bad? I think best case scenario for this team, Michael Penix Jr. plays great in these 3 games. Maybe the Bucks lose a game in there, and we get a home wild card game. We get smoked by the Vikings or the Packers in the first round, or first round playoff exits. And then next year, we draft a defender or somebody to help the defense out next year. Our defenders that we drafted this year take a step up, like Rukarorwo, Trice, who got hurt to start the year. We maybe have a little bit of money to sign a defender or something, like an edge rusher, and sign a big time player on the defensive side of the ball. Michael Penix Jr. takes a small leap in year 2, now that he's got a full year under the offense and under the playbook. Zach Robinson develops, Raheem Morris develops. We go 11-6. 12-5 at absolute best. But then there's still a healthy Lions team, a healthy 49ers team, a healthy Eagles team that I don't see us beating, even if Michael Penix Jr. is a top 10 quarterback in the league. You know, this year and next year, we definitely aren't making the Super Bowl. That's for sure. Maybe in 2026, when Kirk Cousins' contracts is off the books, but then we have to sign Drake London. We'll have to sign Bijan. So maybe 2026 goes well. You know, Michael Penix Jr. in year 3. We actually have money in free agency. Our draft picks continue to develop. So that's our best bet. I think our best bet is in 2026. We can maybe make a deep playoff run. But that's if everything goes well. And so far, at least in 2024, things have not gone well. Our defense has not lived up to what it was supposed to live up to. And Kirk Cousins is hot ass. Michael Penix Jr. is having to start in year 1, which was not on the plans. Our head coach and GM could be out the door before 2026 even happens. There's just too many questions, man. We'll wait and see. Like I said, I want Michael Penix Jr. to be good, but just the media glaze right now is unbelievable. And how everyone's just saying our offense is going to be so much better with Michael Penix Jr. And how everyone's saying, man, Michael Penix Jr. actually was a great pick at 8. It wasn't. It was not a good pick. Like I said, we should have done one or the other. The reason he wasn't a good pick is because we gave Cousins that contract. And because we gave Cousins that contract means that Michael Penix Jr. wasn't a good pick. You know, it's vice versa. You should have done one or the other. In hindsight, Cousins was ass. So Michael Penix Jr. was the correct choice. However, he wasn't the correct choice because we already gave Cousins that contract, and now we're screwing him over in 2025. So our 24-year-old quarterback, his first 2 years are getting screwed. So that's lovely. That's what the Bears do every single year, where they screw over their new quarterback, Justin Fields, Caleb Williams, Mitch Trubisky. They screw them over before their development even starts, and then they're just screwed. That's what we're doing with Penix right now, is we're screwing him in year 2. And in this year too, I would say. I mean, he's got high expectations. He wasn't supposed to start this early. We are putting him in and saying, hey, you need to save our season because our $90 million guaranteed quarterback is playing like ass. So we'll see what happens. I hope he plays well. We need to prepare that he could be bad. In fact, odds are, statistically, there's a better chance he will be bad than he will be good. I just want Falcons fans to know that. He might be bad. All right? He might be bad. We need to live up to that. It's kind of crazy that the media hasn't even really talked about that, and everyone just thinks we're instantly going to be a better team. Who knows, man? Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, please leave comments down below. Let me know if you think I'm just being negative and if I'm a moron. Thank you guys so much for watching, and peace out.